met Joe 27 years ago in Mullaney on the Sunshine Coast. Joe went through an extreme hardship out at Junda with Michael. It was really tough for her out there. It was the heat, the climate, acclimatising to that from the Sunshine Coast. The drought was just extreme and continual out there, and she had some really hard financial times as well. And then when they purchased Lara, she was pretty happy. They had electricity, which they didn't have at Junda. And this property was a big project to take on as well, because it was so run down, and her and Michael had a big job ahead of them clearing it all up and cleaning it. We came out here when they first purchased it, and it was just a mess. And there was carcasses everywhere and death and devastation.
Well, Jo is a unique woman. I put her in the 1%. The type of woman that, through the harder things are, the harder she will push through and make sure that she gets to the other side. She's very resilient, very resourceful, and she has an extremely fiery nature, which really helps in some difficult situations.
Coming to here, it was dry when we first bought here. So that was September 2009, and then that Christmas was the start of the Queensland flooding. So that was when I think half of Queensland was underwater at that stage. This country responds beautifully. Even with a spit of rain, it responds, but you just need the follow-up. So this is more your Buffel country, Buffel Gidgee type country. The Junda country was harder country. It was all mulga spinifex type country. And so we felt that we had to lick our cattle at least 365 days a year. Well, if you've got good mineral content in your ground, well, of course it's going to be in your feed, your grasses, your trees, or whatever they're going to eat at the time, and water. If you've got the good mineral content in your water, then you're going to have nice shiny cattle, and it's proven.
In some way, every person that comes through the gate to this place is caught up in the charm of the land, the atmosphere, and also they're intrigued by a story of a tragedy, and then Jo's resilience. And so then you get caught up in what we call the Lara family.
It's 12th of May 2014. That day Michael had a big flying contract on a property called Holton Station, just this side of Ilfracombe, Longreach side of Ilfracombe, and yeah, so it was a full day job there. Had my uncle and aunt staying with me at the time, and yeah, Rob and Maisie are retirees and do a lot of travelling, so I used to always stop in here and give Michael and I a hand. And she walked into the office the day I was in there and said, I think you got your first camper, Jo. And I went, oh shit, I didn't hear a car roll in. So when I went outside there, obviously it was the first camper. He was Swiss, so his accent was very strong. It was very hard for me to understand him. But anyway, we managed to get through it. I booked him in, brought him down to the wetlands. As I rode off and left him here at 4:30 that afternoon, I pulled up on my bike to pull my phone out of my pocket to give Michael a call to tell him that we've got our first camper, because I was pretty excited. But then I thought, no, he won't answer the phone while he's flying, and he'll be home shortly. But unfortunately that afternoon, Michael had a fatal helicopter accident. It just throws your whole world into a spin.
We were absolutely devastated and tried to call, and her Auntie Maisie was vetting all the phone calls at the time because she was just being bombarded with people. So we really only got to see her after that at the funeral, and came out to give her a hand with the tourist season, started helping her with the tours. She was doing those every second day. The history of the station plays a really important role in her business.
Like, I always take my hat off to these early pioneers, because if it wasn't for them, Australia wouldn't be where it is today.
All the documents out of the safe, very important historically, gives us an insight into the family. Also the items that are found here in the museum, a couple of letters from the maternal grandfather of the Seeleys, and cuttings of people's hair and negatives of the family standing in front of the old 1920s Hupmobile, and I thought that was pretty important information to keep. Being out here has been really good for me. We've had a lot of dramas in our lives with the children and in the past, and I was suffering a little bit of anxiety and depression, so coming out here was good for my health, and getting into something different and being busy all day every day and meeting lots of really nice, interesting people that come through.
Well, the first time I came here, it's hard to explain, but the sand, the trees, the landscape seemed to bring out this calming effect for some reason. Everyone comes in, they have a good time, it builds the community. So it has that magic effect where it wants, people want to be a part of it.
I had amazing support from my family and friends. I could not have built this up the way it is now without them in my life. You contend with a lot, you contend with the droughts, you contend with, like, Mother Nature's, you just don't beat her at all. There's always the government issues with the rural industry on the land. It's just one thing after another. Times got pretty tough, and even tougher after Michael's passing, and you know, doing this bush camping was a way of getting away from working away. And honestly, it's just been an amazing journey doing this. People are just rolling in. It's been more word of mouth. I'm certainly not one of those people to put myself out there. It's just been word of mouth, and it's just happening, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
She's pushed forward into something that most people would find so daunting that they'd throw their hands in the air and walk away. She inspires me with her ability, no matter what odds are up against her, to get the job done.